welcome to the Oil Check, the Rona special number 4. And you may notice something different about the Oil Check today. So my usual partner in crime, Mr. Joe Pennick, hasn't fucking got out of bed or whatever he's done, the lazy prick, and he's decided that he can't be involved in today's podcast, which is a massive shame. However, we have put the bat signal out for someone to step into the breach, where we spoke about this chap coming on as a guest, but now he's like guest / co-host. So please welcome to the Oil Check, Mr. Wesley Murch.
Thank you very much,
doing, my friend?
Yeah, good, mate. All good. The last time I stepped in last minute was about a year ago, and I threw a head kick knockout and won a world title. So good things when I step in last minute, mate.
Well, I mean, I'm just glad I'm not there to get kicked in the head then. Fucking pretty good. So yeah, so general knowledge himself. So obviously, over the last few weeks during the lockdown, you and I have spoken quite a bit because obviously you've been running your quiz. So. We're going to talk about that in a second. So anyway, get the boring stuff out the way. So as always, the Oil Check is sponsored by Fight Central, and you can go to their website www.fight-central.co.uk, and you can use the discount code The Oil Check for 10% off everything on the entire site. So that's our sponsors. Once again, the fight for the Oil Check is Fight Central. That's www.fight-central.co.uk. And always, if you want to contact the Oil Check for any reason, you can do so on telephone or text 07510 954 793. You can email us on theoilcheck@hotmail.com, and all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at the Oil Check. So that's the boring stuff out of the way. So, like I say, obviously we've been doing your quiz, general knowledge, the Rona quiz, the Corona quiz. So tell me, what sort of prompted you to start the quiz, Wes?
I did. Somebody was saying about they were bored and stuff during the lockdown, and I said, people were saying about their kids. They were saying they couldn't. It was about 4 or 5 in, and they said, "Oh, I don't know about anyone else. I've not done anything with my kids, not done any of their schoolwork or homework." And I said, I put a post up, and I just said, like, listen. One of the things I go on a lot about on my podcast is education, and there being a real problem with education. You all have the opportunity to educate your children now. Okay, you might not be able to stick to the curriculum what the school set out. Fuck it off. Make yourself a little quiz each day, and even if you don't know the answers, you have Google. Go out and Google stuff. Go out in nature. Make a little quiz about nature. And even if you don't know the answers, it's a good quiz for you as well. Find out. And so someone said, "Oh, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and do a quiz yourself?" So I said, "Okay, well, I'll do a quiz." So I did a quiz. It started out a bit family orientated, but I'm so busy in the days, even through lockdown. I said, "Well, I can do an adult one." Someone said, "Yeah, okay." I did it. Got massive viewing on the first one, and then everyone said, "Keep doing it." So I just stuck with it, basically.
Yeah, so what's your situation at the moment? So you see you're quite busy during the lockdown. So because I mean I'm assuming you're in your family home there, because obviously you've got your live studio audience.
So I moved back in with Dad and my stepmom because I was buying a house, and that actually fell through the first week or so of lockdown. So I'm stuck here now with my dad and my stepmom. So I'm actually in here at the moment. But when the lockdown happened, we had to furlough with work, and we're furloughed. We're actually going back on Monday. But it gave me a lot of time to do all the things that I want to do a lot. Write comedy, write a lot. I'm in the middle of writing a book. All the stuff that I usually get lost with because I'm teaching or I'm training or I'm working or, and then I couldn't go paragliding. I couldn't go base jumping because we were in lockdown. So I literally was stuck in the house doing lots of things that I wouldn't usually do. But for me, it was brilliant because it allowed me to focus on stuff that I love but don't give attention to.
Well, you've just sort of let the cat out the bag a little bit there about one of your crazy hobbies. So obviously you and I, we became friends through the MMA scene. Mm-hmm. And just having a quick look at, I've got your Sherdog record up here, and you have been doing it for a long, long time. I actually didn't realise. So your first fight was 2004 on the old Ultimate Combats.
That's right, mate. Yeah, Whitchurch Sports Centre, Bristol.
Yeah. So you've, I mean, even though, I mean, it's been so. I wouldn't say it's unfair to say that MMA has never been your sort of major priority, and I don't think you ever had designs on being world champion. However, you did take it up to quite a high level. But again, having a look at some of the dates, there have been some quite big breaks during your fighting career as well, where you've sort of had a few years off here and there. So, I mean, what got you into, first of all, what got you into MMA? Did you come from a TMA background, or was it straight into the MMA side?
I'll tell you exactly. I used to move gypsies for a living with James Thompson. That was my job, moving gypsies. And so James Thompson and I were like traveling the country, moving gypsies off their campsites. And he said to me, "Listen, I've got a cage fight. Will you help me train? You're a judo guy. I don't know anything on the ground. Will you help me train?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I will." So I was James's main sparring partner. He'd never had anybody to train with, so him and I started.
He's a fucking unit as well, bro. How did you fucking...
So he was like 138 kilos at the time or something. Yeah, he's a big lump, And so I was like, yeah, of course. So I started training a bit with him, and then we started doing some pads and some striking with some other people. And he just said, like, "Oh, I think you'd be like really good at this. You should give it a go." Of course, I was like 20 years old, full of spunk, and I was like, yeah, I'm up for that. Yeah, of course, yeah. He's like, "Well, I can get you a fight." And I was like, "Yeah, get me a fight then." And then he rang me up and he's like, "I've got you a fight on next Ultimate Combat." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, cool, I guess. Yeah, cool." So I got offered the fight, and I got my head down and I trained, and took the fight and won.
Yeah.
And then that was it for me then. Once I'd made that first walk to the cage, I was hooked completely. Like, this is it for me. And at that time, there wasn't really an opportunity to make a living out of it or to make a career. I could see that it was growing, and but we were fighting. Sometimes we'd fight on big shows like Ultimate Combat. Other times we'd go to a nightclub and you're warming up at the bar where other people are watching you fight. So I was always a bit cerebral and thought to myself, like, "Listen, I'll do this and I'll commit to it, but it's not fucking going anywhere. There's nowhere for it to go." So I stuck with it and I kept training, and then all of a sudden, go to like in 2015 when I owned my own gym, I was like, "I'm all in. This is me. I'm gonna make a career out of it. I'm happy. This is what I'm gonna do." Got injured and had a long period off, and then weighing things up, what I was giving up, what I'm losing out on. Other people are getting into the UFC, other people are not. People are doing. It just always became to me like, "Listen, I can give everything to this, and I think I can do really well. But what am I giving up to do that?"
Mm.
So I was sort of caught in that situation, really, of how much to commit. I think for me, I'm an all-in guy. And like people who know me and have trained with me, I mean, they'll tell you, Paul Reed, these guys, they'll tell you I'm willing to commit and train like any of the top athletes in the world. And I've trained at American Top Team, Black House, Kings, like all over America. I've trained with top-level guys. I know the level I'm at. I've sparred top-level guys. If I listed you some of the guys I've sparred now, you'd probably be shocked. So I know the level that I'm at. But it was always a case for me of, well, okay, I'm at that level, but no one's making any money. Like, they're getting their brains punched in. No one's making any money at this. And I've got friends who are doing really good high-level stuff. We're traveling the world together, and nobody's making any money. They're all working. Like, even guys who are in the UFC are working, teaching PT and stuff. And I was like, man, how much of my life can I give up doing this? So that was what it was for me. Just train every day, work hard, and if I get a fight, then really focus on it.
Mm.
And that's how it went.
But I mean, you did have a bit of a flirt with the UFC at one point. So you got through the preliminary screening process to get onto the Ultimate Fighter Season 8, which was in 2008. And then I believe, if memory serves me correctly, unfortunately, you got injured, didn't you, in that fight? It wasn't like you lost the fight, but it wasn't like you didn't get like a beating. It was a lost.
Oh, no, so I won the first round. 10-9 on all three judges in the first round. But for me, it was a bit different because what happened was that Sammy Barrick had posted that he'd sent a video off to the Ultimate Fighter. So I looked when the tryouts were in America, and I thought, I'm not sending no video. I'm going to fly over there. I'm going to do this properly. So I booked a flight to go to Boston with me and my dad, and I flew there. And I walked into the room, and the first stage is you go and you have an interview. I walked in, and Dana and all those guys are sat there. And he said, oh, so you're from England? I was like, yeah, that's right. He said, how long have you been over here? I was like, 2 days. He said, what? I was like, I flew over for this. He's like, you've flown here for this? I was like, yeah. He said, I don't think anyone's ever come here from England before. I was like, no, I don't think they have, to be honest, because Mike had been in the year or so before, but they'd come to England looking for people.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I don't think they have. He's like, fuck no, you must be sure of yourself. I was like, I'm sure enough. So then had the interview. The interview went well. Went away. Then you come out and you have to grapple. Yeah. So I was thinking, just don't give me a wrestler. Just don't give me a wrestler. And this guy came out with wrestling boots on. I was like, oh, my God. So it was start on your knees, luckily. And he obviously came straight at me. And I rolled and armbarred him within 4 seconds or so. Oh. And Dana White was like, whoa, loud like that. And so I sort of smiled. He's like, I guess go again. So we went again and I triangled the guy. So I knew that had gone well. Then it was hitting pads, and I knew I'd look good at hitting pads. You know,
I can look good hitting pads.
Exactly, right? So I knew that was going to be okay. So then, then they said to me, they pulled me to the side. They said, listen, can you not go home to England? I was like, well, my hotel, I leave. They're like, we'll pay for everything. You need to go to Vegas, but you're going to be in Vegas for a week before we get there. And then you need to stay for a further 2 weeks. I was like, I'm sure I could pencil it in.
I'll squeeze that one in, defo.
Yeah, do you need to check with work or anything? No, I'll quit. It's fine.
It's done. I'm in.
Yeah. So, I flew to Vegas, stayed there 3 weeks, came home. That was just medicals and stuff, you know, like brain scans and stuff. Came home, they said, right, we need you to come back out and do press. So can you come back out and do some press? So they flew me out again for another 2 weeks. Did press, then they flew me home, and they're like, right, you need to come out, you need to be within 5 pounds of fight weight. I was like, fuck, I can't walk around at 160. How am I going to manage that? So I got my weight down as low as I could, flew back out there, met them, everything's all good. I'm into the show basically. So then we have to fight, and you don't know anything about the guy you're fighting until the night before because you're not matched up. So even when I knew I was fighting, I knew fuck all about him because I had no internet or anything then. I'm locked in a hotel room. You can't speak to anyone. So all I had is Efren Escudero and who else was it? One of the other guys. We made like a close-knit group. And Efren said to me, listen, I've seen this guy fight. He's a stand-up guy, like blue belt level jiu-jitsu. I don't think you have to worry about anything on the floor. He's a stand-up guy. But me being a dick got in my head a bit then. Oh, he's a stand-up guy? Well, I'll fucking trade with him then. Watch this. So, because he was a known stand-up guy, he was from Razor Rob McCulloch's gym. No, he fought Razor Rob McCulloch and took him to a decision. I was like, in my head, if I can look good stood up against him, I'm just going to be brilliant. Went out to the fight. First round, I win the first round. But right at the last 10 seconds, I hear that little clacker go. And I throw a kick. And I caught him. I turned my foot a bit and I caught him with the outside of my ankle. Dropped, because as soon as it happened, I thought it broke my ankle straight away. Dropped. Doctors come running in. And they're like, where does it hurt? Where does it hurt? I was like, oh, it can't be that bad then. So I look at it. It's not that bad. I was like, oh, I've hurt my shin. Go back to the corner, whatever. Come out. They said, can you continue? I was like, yeah, I can continue. Come out. And I'm thinking, right, keep your feet on the ground. No matter what, keep your feet on the ground. John comes forward. I throw a jumping knee. Miss with the jumping knee. As I land, invert on the bad ankle and snap the ligament on the inside of my ankle. So done. Like, that was me done. Just completely my fault. Stupid injury. And, they said to me afterwards, they said, like, oh, yeah, all 3 judges had you win in the first. All you had to do was get through this round, how you did the first round. But, yeah.
Well, so, and did they not come back to you at all and try and give you another opportunity, or was it too little too late by then?
No, they came back to me because, without sounding like a dick, the producer, Craig, him and I got on really well. Like, lots of banter, and he's like, I'm so gutted you're not going to be on my show. He said, because your personality would be great on the show.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so then the next year, he said, like, they rang me and said, oh, Wes, let's just let you know, we're going to do a UK versus USA show. He said, because you performed so well on the show, like how you came across and stuff. He said, I think the UK's probably got a lot of good people to go. He said, but it's going to be welterweights and light heavyweights. I was like, I'll fight welterweight. He's like, right, we're coming to England this date. Come and meet us. I was like, okay. So I went there. I met with all the UK guys. We all went there. and I had an interview with him again. He's like, listen, you're in. Like, you know that you're in. Like, you don't have to worry about that. And then they changed the weight category because they said they had nobody in the UK who was legitimate light heavyweights. It was all middleweights trying to make light heavyweight or no, something similar. So then lots of guys had to cut their weight down. So this is when Alex Reed had to make welterweight, and they put it into then, I think it was lightweight and welterweight division then. So Alex had to cut from middle. So all these things went on. Anyway, I got in, I got through, and then Mike had the final decision on who was going in the show. And Mike cut me. He said, listen, I'm going to cut you because you've just been in the show and there's lots of guys who haven't had an opportunity. And Bisping.
Really?
Yeah. So he's like, I seen him. He's like, no hard feelings, dude. He said, but I've got so many people to choose from. And of course, like three guys from Wolf Slayer.
He was the coach, was he?
Coach, yeah, he was the coach. So, and so three guys from Wolf Slayer got in and a few other guys. And to be honest, mate, the guys who he took there, he took legitimate guys. It's not like he fobbed me off. He did take legitimate guys. And I still went, did all the medicals and stuff and got flown over. But the team that Mike picked in the end, he said, listen, that's the only reason. You've just come out and it's the next series. It wasn't like there was even two series between.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't, Mike, I'm not going to argue with you, dude. Like, it is what it is. So, yeah.
Oh well, it was a shame, and but like you say, it's you've got a lot of other things that you spend your time doing, stuff that I've never done. There's something that you do that I'm really interested in, and there's something that you do that I'm fucking absolutely not interested in. So the thing that you do that I'm not interested in at all is you jump out of aeroplanes and jump off fucking cliffs. Tell us about that, you absolute raging psychopath.
So I think everybody should skydive. Everyone should skydive. It's super safe.
Let me just say, I would actually love to do it. Yeah. Right. However, there's two things that are stopping me. Number one, I'm a big fat cunt, right? And in order to do a tandem skydive, you've got to be beneath a certain weight, haven't you? Yeah. I'm 125 kilos. That ain't happening, right?
In America, you'd get to jump probably.
Yeah. Okay, number two, I've got no cartilage in my right knee. So I'd be terrified that when I landed, that I would fuck my leg up even worse than it would be normally. But I've done a bungee jump, and I am quite game for most things. So yes, let me say that I would be interested in doing it if it was possible, but I am also terrified about my leg. So that's why.
So your leg thing won't be an issue because they can land you on your ass.
Yeah.
So it's such a soft landing on a big canopy like that. They can land you on their ass. Do you know what I mean? So that's not an issue. The reason I say everyone should skydive is you can go to 15,000 feet. Now, you can't go to 15,000 feet under the ocean. It's just not possible unless you're in a submarine or something. So you can't do that. So as far as extremities go, it's the furthest extremity that you can really go to as a free human being. So that's why I think everyone should do it, because it's as far as you can take yourself. And it's super safe.
That's half the height of of an aeroplane, isn't it? 15,000 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Of a commercial jet line. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking high basically. But it's super safe. Most of the accidents that have happened in skydiving over the last 20 years have been human error. Yeah. So kit malfunction is not really an issue. So everyone should skydive. I don't skydive very much anymore because it's really expensive. I mean, it's 25 quid a jump from me if I've got my own gear, but I'll do 4 or 5 jumps a day. So who's got like £150 a week to spend on skydiving?
Yeah.
So I don't skydive much anymore, but base jumping is something I advise people never to do. If you can live your life never base jumping, that's the way to live your life. Because
I think most people would be okay with that, to be honest with you.
It's stupid. It's a stupid thing to do, mate. It's a ridiculous thing to do. And
you put that video up of, was it like a couple of weeks ago? You reposted that video of you in a fucking budgie smuggler, fucking jumping off a bridge somewhere. That was fucking scary, dude.
Yeah, that's a bridge in Idaho, a really famous bridge called Perrine Bridge. But it was a low pool competition on rounds, so the canopy, you can't steer it or anything, but it was, right, who's going to go the longest without pulling their... I was like, well, I'm going to fucking win this then. But I had no way of knowing how or when it would open, so I'd not jumped on before. So I was thinking, right, I'm going to go 4-second delay, and then we'll see what happens, and hopefully it opens and we're good by the time we hit the water. I probably could have took it for another second, I reckon, but 4 was pretty close. Like, afterwards, people are like, yeah, 4 is a really strong delay on a round canopy off this bridge. So, but I won the competition, and I looked good in a pink thong.
Well, what more can you ask for then? You fucking nailed it, bro.
But for me, like base jumping, I love it. And people say you're an adrenaline junkie and you must love, but it's not that for me. Like base jumping, once you've jumped off of a building or off of a cliff, you're familiar with what can go wrong. And, you know, I lost 7 people in a year once. My friends died. 7, or associates died. 7 in a year base jumping. It is really dangerous, especially like wingsuit stuff.
I was going to say, if you've done that wingsuit stuff, that's the fucking real fucking dodgy shit.
So
isn't
I've done a bit, but enough to realise I'm never going to be the best at it. So what's the point in trying and killing myself? Let's just stop. So I don't do any wingsuit proxy stuff anymore. But for me, base jumping, I like low urban stuff. Buildings, cranes, aerials. So what it's about for me, it's about sneaking past security guards and pretending I'm James Bond and going up to penthouse apartments and picking locks. Like I jumped off of a casino in Las Vegas, allegedly, because it's a felony. And my plan was go to the top, knock on the door and say, do you want to see something cool? Jump off their balcony. But there's nobody answered any doors, so we had to pick the lock to the penthouse, get inside. This place is 35 grand a night. It's amazing. And so we just spent 3 hours chilling in their mini bar, just chilling, whatever. There's a gym, 2 swimming pools, 2 kitchens. It's massive. And I won't tell you which casino. And so then after like 2-3 hours, we're like, should we do it then? And we're like, yeah, right. So we went and jumped off the roof and landed. But for me, the jump's bullshit. Like, it's a couple of seconds. You land, you pack your stuff away, you run. The best bit is sneaking past security, picking the locks, or climbing up a crane on a building site when you know you could get nicked, and staying stealthily. That's what it's about for me. That's the adventure, not the adrenaline of jumping off.
Yeah, mate, fucking hell, mate. Like I say, obviously I realised there was there was a lot more sort to it. But yeah, definitely something that I will leave to you. And
you can come out one time if you want to be my getaway driver.
Well, hey, getaway driver, I've got no problem doing that. Yeah, I got no problem doing that. But yeah, the actual jumping shit, you can definitely keep that to yourself. However, so the thing that I am really interested in, which I'm not sure what your situation is with it right now. However, I've always been meaning to say to you, like my kid would be really fucking interested in, is that you do falconry. So again, I don't know a lot about it, but obviously you live down very in the countryside there, and I believe that you had quite a few birds of prey at one point. I don't know if you've still got them at all, or. Oh, we're there. 1 second, mate. Just you've gone real quiet there. I don't know if that's the internet connection or. Yeah.
Back.
Oh, there you go.
I'm back, yeah?
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, so I've been a falconer since I was 13. I went to like one of the local country shows, and I saw a guy with a bird, and I started talking to him, and I said to my mum, I was like, I'm going to get one of them. So then I saved all my money that I could and just never shut up about it. So my mum took me to meet somebody who she knew who sort of had birds, and I got a bird. But yeah, over the years I've had everything you can imagine, mate. Peregrine falcons, goshawks, harrishawks, kestrels, like any bird of prey you can imagine, I've had and I've flown and I've hunted with. And now for the last 10 years, exclusively pretty much golden eagles. And I have like golden eagles that I hunt with now. I hunt fox, deer, and hare with golden eagles. And apart from fox, I eat most of the stuff that I catch. So if I catch hare, I butcher it. If I catch deer, I butcher it myself and put it in the freezer and I eat it. If I catch a fox, I discard it. I'm not going to eat a fox.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I bet they're fucking, not only would it be like essentially eating a fucking dog, but it's, yeah, I'm sure they're pretty disease ridden as well, aren't they?
They're meant to taste like piss. But the foxes, the foxes like urban foxes that you see outside your house ripping the bins up are vile, but the foxes that I've caught, you won't get a more magnificent example of a fox because they're out in the country, but usually they're persecuting farmland or chickens or pheasants or, so they have to be controlled. And then in the 10 years that I've flown golden eagles, I've caught 2 foxes in my whole career. It's not like you're out slaughtering foxes. You just don't see them much in the day, So
they are very vermin-like, aren't they? So.
Oh, completely vermin and completely predatory. And because they're an apex predator here, nothing predates on them. They have their run of everything, So they are a big pest species. But yeah, so falconry is. Somebody says to me all the time, "Oh, if you could only do one thing, what would be the one thing you could do?" Falconry. I'd keep falconry over everything. Over MMA, over base jumping, skydiving. I'd keep falconry over all of it.
Well, so mate, any opportunity that next time you're going out, obviously once lockdown is finished, I mean, I'd love an opportunity to bring my nipper down and have a look at you going out with the birds, mate. He would absolutely fucking love that shit,
mate. Open invite. He's there whenever you want to come, mate. I mean, my season will start about September, but you two can come out. We'll go out and have a day and see if we get some good flights and stuff. And yeah, you love it.
Awesome. So having a quick look, just sort of to take a step back to the MMA for a second then. So you had a bit of a break. Obviously, you fought on Made for the Cage 2015, and then you didn't really do anything for nearly 4 years. And then last year you made a bit of a comeback, and like you say, you took that fight, was at last minute, and you ended up winning by head kick KO, and that was on Raged in just down the road in Swindon. So obviously I'm in Redden, you're Bristol way, aren't you? So that's like sort of just right in the middle. And again, that was. Was that where Paul fought as well? And did he make a comeback on there?
Yeah, Paul bust his arm, and that's when he bust his arm on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was yeah, I mean, I Made for the Cage I fought Andrew, and to beat Andrew Fisher I fought, on that show. To be fair, so I've struggled throughout my career. I don't get nervous. I don't get any of that. I'm not like one of those guys, and I'll fight anyone. I've had offers like, "Oh, can you come and fight Junior Sunshine in Brazil on 3 weeks' notice?" Yep, I'll do it. Yeah. But the thing with me is, because I don't get nervous, it's sort of a holdback. And what's held me back in my career, I think, is like a mental aspect to the game. And that's why I got so deeply into psychology and stuff. And I've done a few podcasts now on my podcast with neuroscientists and psychologists, hypnotists, because during the Andrew fight, I felt really in control, but I felt a bit slow. And I was like, that's all right, I'm going to pick it up in the second, really go to work. I'll take him down. He's nowhere near as strong as me. He's a featherweight. I know how I can deal with this fight now. And I came out in the second, I shoot a weak double, but then I go to the single. I knew I was going to get it. And he goes for a guillotine. We ended up by the cage. And I remember Ian Freeman was there, and Ian Freeman's commentating. And he said, Murch is in trouble here. He's in a really tight guillotine. And I was there. I was like, what's he fucking on about? The guillotine's not even on. I'm not in a guillotine. And he's like, oh, yeah, Andrew Fisher's known for having a really good submission. Starts talking. And I'm listening to him. I'm thinking, he's not fucking catching me with this. Paul Reed tries to guillotine me every day. He's not going to go. Next minute, we've swept. He's gone round to a north-south choke. I'm so intent on listening to what Ian Freeman's saying. It's like I was at sparring and there's no consequence,
Yeah.
And as soon as he switched that north-south choke, I was like, fuck, what? Realised what had gone on, and it was too late. It was just I had to tap, and that's taking nothing away from Andrew. Andrew's a legit guy. He's a very good fighter. But a couple of my fights, that sort of shit has happened. It's like I'm not in the fight. It's almost like I'm visualizing the fight 2 weeks before. It's just like I'm not really there, or I haven't had a chance to wake up.
Would you consider yourself to maybe be a bit too placid?
Possibly.
What I'm saying is you don't like taking the MMA side of things away. You don't strike me as the kind of geezer that if there was something happened in a bar, you'd be kicking the fuck out of someone in the corner of the bar. You're the kind of guy that would fucking walk away from it rather than jump in, and you haven't got that killer mentality.
I think there's many people who know me out there who are really badly disagreeing with you right now. Yeah, I think, many people who have done bailiff work with me and door work with me for years would probably disagree.
Well, look, to be honest, I was a doorman for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I think that, my personal attitude towards conflict is very well suited to door work.
Yeah.
Because I will do anything to avoid a physical confrontation. But if it comes to it, I'm also prepared to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas, like, I worked on the door with people that the first thing that they did was start swinging punches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas for me, it was the last thing that I would do.
Yeah. So when I started the door when I was 17, I worked two pubs in Bristol which were really well known. There's an area in Bristol called Knoll West. It's like a really rough, well-known area. There was a pub there called the Venture Inn. It was Bristol's worst pub, and I worked there at 17 with a guy called James Waif. Now, because on the door from a young time, at 18, 19, 20, I was nailing people. As soon as I was traveling the club, just banging people or like fighting with free guys, just whatever it took. And then once you've been nicked a few times or once you get a bit older, then I broke my hand one time hitting someone, couldn't fight, couldn't train, couldn't do anything for 9 months. I was like, this is fucking up MMA for me. And then when you get a bit older, what the MMA gave me, and this is why MMA is so important, I think, or any kind of martial arts, what it gave me the confidence to know I could probably have a fight with any man in here. So what's the point in having a fight with any of the men in here? So it gave me the confidence to approach things and deal with it in a calm, placid way. But I'm one of those people, I don't like to talk about it because you sound like a prick every time you do, but I'm one of those people who, if my head goes, I'm gone. Like, someone's got to be there to stop me or calm me down. I can't, like, it doesn't take a lot, and now it takes a lot to get my head to go because I like to banter with people. When people are losing their temper, I'm more likely to take the piss out of them when they come at me, foot sweep them, and put them on the floor and be like, what are you doing, you idiot? But if my head goes, I'm one of those people who, I'm like really aggressive. And so the aggression side of it's never an issue with MMA. I think from talking with psychologists and stuff, I think my issue with MMA has always been I visualize and game plan a lot. So like Kurt Warburton's my perfect example. The fight with Kurt Warburton was my perfect example. Everyone thought I'm going to lose to Kurt Warburton, and I was like, I'm going to fucking beat him. So I was training with Lou Long, training with Tim from Wales, Tim Newman, Ronnie Mann, Nad, Paul Reed. So you can imagine what our sparring sessions were
Absolute savages.
Savages. So we're sparring every day with each other. And Tim Newman's fought Kurt Warburton. He's like, mate, you are going to stop him in the first. There's no way he can box with you. And I was like, mate, I feel so confident. So we go to the fight. Everything's good. And so I've got a game plan. My game plan was, Kurt doesn't like it when you're in his face and you're pushing him backwards. Yeah. He's okay if he sits at range. So my game plan, hit him hard with a jab early on, go forward and box him. That's my game plan. So we come out, walk to the center. I'm thinking, I visualized it all the time. As he comes forward, step forward, bang, big jab. When we came to the forward, came to the center, he took a step back. I throw a stupid jab out of range and it becomes like a lunging jab.
Yeah.
As soon as I did it, he shot underneath and got a body clinch on me. And he took me down. Now, I don't usually get taken down. In training, I'm not getting taken down often. I've got a long history in judo and lots of wrestling. He took me down. I was like, all right, no problem. I'll get back up. Stood straight back up. But he took my back. Listen, if you've got Kurt Warburton on your back, you're immediately losing the fight. You have to really work to try and defend the choke. The same as if I'm on Kurt Warburton's back, I'm probably going to finish him. That's just, at that level, that's the way that it goes. Now, he choked me. He finished me. Fair play to Kurt Warburton. He was on the game and he beat me. Now, afterwards, like, Nad was in my corner. He's like, mate, I'm not sure what the fuck I just watched. He's like, that is not you who I train with. He's like, what the fuck? Like, and I think I had my game plan so in my head that I couldn't fight the fight as it evolved. I just had it in my head, right, you got to hit him with this really big jab first. Hit him with this really big... So I went out to throw a really big jab that I was in no position to throw instead of assessing the fight, you know? So I think...
instead of being reactive, you were a bit too proactive.
Mate, exactly. And I mean, like, without sounding like a dick, I've sparred with any top UK guy you can name, really. I probably sparred with them. Stapes, Kane Mosa, Kurt, Lou Long, Shay Mills, Ronnie Mann, anyone you want to name. Like, I've sparred with them. I've been to America. I've sparred Lyoto Machida, Anderson Silva. I've sparred with Tiago Alves, Jay-Z Cavalcante. Now, people might not remember Jay-Z, but go back and watch Jay-Z Cavalcante. I've sparred with these guys. I've sparred with top guys. Brad Pickett. I know my level. I know what level I can contend with. But MMA is a 15-minute representation, if you're lucky, a 15-minute representation of everything you do in the gym, day in, day out. Now, if you make a mistake in MMA, you should be finished. It's that simple. If you're not being finished by making a mistake in MMA, you're not fighting people good enough.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, I make fucking mistakes when I fight for some reason. So, and I've got finished because I fought guys who were decent enough to finish me. Tim Radcliffe was another one. Fought Tim Radcliffe. Paul Reed, you can hear him in my corner. Don't get frustrated. Don't get frustrated. I get frustrated. For a big right hand, he cankers with a knee to the liver, drops me. Like, just, I'm an idiot when I fight, is basically the answer.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a... Well, the reason I sort of went back down that road is because obviously, like I said, so you fought 2015 Andrew Fisher. You then came back with that comeback 4 years later. So the last time you had a fight was, in fact, looking at the date, it was nearly exactly 1 year ago. What's
a year? 26th of May. 26th of May a year ago.
Yeah, 25th. Yeah, so essentially, it was a year ago. So, have you got any plans to fight again? That was the long way of asking that question.
I've posted on Facebook many times. I'll fight tomorrow. Give me an exciting fight, a good money offer, or something worth fighting for. Now that means, if someone's going to lump money on me, I'll fight any man on the planet. There's not a man I won't fight if the figure's not correct enough. But I don't fight, like, money's never been my impetus for fighting. So for me, give me something exciting. Like, now, if ONE FC were to approach me, I'd fight in a heartbeat because I'd love to fight in Asia. Yeah. I'd fight in a heartbeat if ONE FC approached me. If Bellator approached me, I'd probably fight for them. If the UFC approached me, I'll fight in a heartbeat. Let's not even talk about money. Pay me whatever you think I'm worth after the fight. I'll fight because I want to be in the UFC, So it's got to be something exciting, something abroad or some big name. Now, the only fight this sort of got me going a little bit, and it'll never happen because the guy's a melt, is Mario Said. Now,
well, again, you've jumped the gun there. I was going to mention about the post that you put up. So carry on with that.
So I have no real issue with Mario, not really. He used to train at my gym for a bit.
I get on really well with him.
Yeah, he used to train at my gym a bit. I used to teach him how to wrestle. And then one day, he told someone in Tesco that he dropped mad in sparring, and I had to jump in and stop him boxing against Paul Reed. So I was like, what? So I have a thing. When I owned my gym, mate, my gym was open door. I don't give a fuck what team you fight for. There's no politics. You can come here, you can train with my coaches, and you can train with me. You can spar with the pros if you're pro, and you have no affiliation. You don't have to thank me. You don't have to mention my gym. You'll help me, we'll help you. That's how my gym was run. So when I heard that someone had done that, I was like, I'm not having that. The guys who come here and train don't deserve the bullshit like this. So I posted about it on Facebook, called him out on Facebook. He said it was bullshit. So the guy who he said it to in Tesco's came on and said, no, it wasn't bullshit. You said it to me in Tesco. Where are you? I'll come meet you now. So that's how the breakdown happened with Mario. Then I saw Mario. We spoke about it. He's like, I think it's a confusion. I was like, listen, I've never had a problem with you, but you've massively abused everything my gym stands for. You can't come and train there anymore, Mario. It's not. So then over the years, he started some more lies and some more bullshit. And he, like, telling people he was like Bellator champion, and these guys train at my gym. And I'm like, what? And so the guy goes to him, well, no, I'm pretty sure that's Michael Chandler. And it's like just all this sort of stuff. So I was like, this is a bit weird. Then there was that up kick knockout thing happened, and I was there on the night, and somebody asked me about it, and I said, like, I think it's bullshit. He wasn't knocked out. He got hit with an up kick, spoke to the ref. I don't think he was knocked out, but you never know. Weird things happen. And then there was a big to-do with Mario at a grappling comp with him threatening one of my students, a kid, like a 13-year-old kid. And there was a video got sent to me of him, like, saying some stuff to a kid that I didn't agree with. So me and him had a row about that. But I spoke to him about it because, you know, I'm not a dick. I'm gonna front you. So I went to his gym and I fronted him immediately on it. But we got it sorted. He said he'd apologise to the kid. He did apologise. Fair play to him. Me and Mara have had a good relationship. Then he goes on Facebook and says that he's called me out, and I said no. I was like, hang on, I haven't been fighting for 4 years. When have you called me out? And I've said no. Like, also, I fought all over the world against current UFC guys, former UFC guys. You're a leisure centre fighter. Why am I going to say no to fighting you dosser? What are you on about? And he's just like, he's doing it because he wants to get a name off of my name. Me or Paul Reed and Nad, we're like the bigger known guys in Bristol. I'm the longest known because I've been doing it longer than all of them. So I've obviously got a name associated with MMA. Nad has got a massive name because he's in the UFC. Paul because he's an angry ginger fuck who's fought everyone. So
just time out for a second. Who is also the Peter fucking Pan of UK MMA? He's like 9,000 years old now and still looks younger than me, the cunt.
Yeah, that's true, mate. That's true. And listen, he said, "Oh, I'm not sparring with you no more. You're too big. I don't want to get hit by you, so we'll roll and stuff." We went when he's sparring. So me and Nad are sparring for Nad's last fight. 16-ounce gloves, no gum shields, because I ain't got a gum shield, but Nad said, can you do a few rounds? So neither of us got gum shields. Next minute, Paul Reed's in, because Paul Reed can't watch me and Nad spar without sparring. So next minute, Paul's in getting punched by both of us as well. I was like, thought you weren't getting hit in the head anymore. He's like, yeah, I know, but I couldn't leave it. So he's not only Peter Pan, the fucker, who looks like younger than both of us, who's older than both of us, I think.
Yeah. It's like he's nearly fucking 50, man. He's like, 47, 48?
Mate.
And he's fucking ripped to the tits, bro.
Mate, when he was 36, he came to a gym where I was teaching Muay Thai, and that's how I met him. I met him because I taught him Muay Thai, and then he started training with us. Next minute, he gone away and had like 5 fights in 3 days. And I was like, where the fuck has he come from?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like a lot of his early fights, I think they were all on the sort of all on the anger. He did a lot on the anger management. So let me just hold on. Let me. If I can click on his name now.
Order management or FX3, anger management or FX3.
Yeah. And I remember there was one particular fight. So obviously, I mean, fucking hell, I'm just having a quick look here. So he's 24 wins, 13 losses. So going back, so anger management, that was his first fight, 2006, and he went on a bit of a tear. FX3, so all of these shows that I was emceeing, FX3 again. I don't know, and there's pictures of us. I've got pictures on my Facebook of me and him pissed out our fucking faces after Cage Rage when he fought Brad Pickett.
Right, yeah.
Like was 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning doing hotel jiu-jitsu around the fucking bar and that. Like absolute savagery.
Yeah.
I think there was one particular fight. I can't remember the actual. I think it might have been that it was in Bristol. I think it might have been when he beat Jordan Miller. I'm just having a quick look. It might. That might have
been Western.
Yeah. No, there was one in that Thornbury Leisure Centre in Bristol.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, and I remember he took Mount. And he was fucking dropping bombs, from Mount, and like whoever, I think it was Jordan Miller. Again, I can't remember. I used to drink a lot, as we know, and he was in Mount on the guy, and he fucking went to hit him, and he missed the guy's head, and he punched the cage floor, and the fucking cage floor went like that, and like the vibration, and I could feel the force he was generating from that fucking punch. And Lee Remedios in his corner, and I went up to Lee and I was like, holy fucking shit. I was like, there's no fucking way I'd want to be on the receiving end of one of those fuckers. Yeah. And Lee was like, yes, we've been working on his power. I was like, you can't fucking tell.
Listen, he's hitting you. Yeah, mate, he's hitting you with all the anger of every Scotsman ever. That's what he's hitting you with. He's like, and every angry little ginger Scotsman is in every one of Paul's punches. That's how he operates.
Yeah, man. So like obviously, like I say, you, him, Lee, all of those guys from Bristol, and obviously I did a lot of my MCing career in all of that area. Yeah. So we've all spent a lot of time, in the same building, whether it's you fighting, whether you're cornering somebody else, whatever. And yeah, it's been a fucking weird old journey being at the the beginning of sort of MMA in the UK now, and obviously it's. To be honest, I mean, MMA is fucking huge now, isn't it? And it's like, I think it's the old adage for me in particular. They say, be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it. Fucking back in 2004, 2005, I was like, oh, I can't wait for MMA to be on the TV. I can't wait for everyone to like MMA. This was when, there was like fucking one show every month at some far corner of the country, and we'd all meet up together and have a brilliant time. And we'd be like, oh, I can't wait for it to be on the TV. And now it's on the TV and there's 50 shows every weekend. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking shit now. You know what I mean? Compared to what it used to be.
100%, because it was like a close-knit family of serious guys. And I'll tell you what we used to have was, you knew everyone was a fighter, because you couldn't go and train at a gym without having a fight. Like, we say this now because obviously I coach like a lot now, and I think me and Paul were trying to count up, and I think we've had well over 100 professional fighters come out of myself and Paul, because obviously we team up now and we do our stuff together. And so we say it all the time that me, Paul, Nad, Rona, we used to meet regularly. People were getting dropped in the gym. Regular stuff. Regular people, you go, you have 3-4 day headaches. People are getting knocked out. Next night they'd be training again on Sunday. That was a regular occurrence. Now I try so hard to tell people, you don't have to train like that anymore. We know the way to train now. That's not the way to train anymore. That's not the way to go about doing things. And it's good if you want to be a coach and you want to fill your gym full of people. But if you want to find those people who had that fighter's mentality, that fighter's instinct, back in the day, the press conferences were brilliant. Everyone was just afterwards just chatting, and you knew you were surrounded by absolute killers who were genuinely great guys to have a laugh with and have a crack with.
Absolutely. That was, I've always said it, 99.99% of everyone I've met in MMA have been the nicest fucking guys you'll ever meet. But that's because genuine fucking killers have got nothing to prove. They don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's always the odd exception of, there's certain people who, have been involved in MMA when they walk in a room that you're like, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Some of them might be locked up in prison in Morocco at the moment. I don't know. But there are, there's the odd one or two I could name who are very, very scary individuals, and you're very unsure about the way that they're going to go. But like I say, 99.9% of people, they're just normal guys that happen to have a talent for fucking smashing people's heads in. And like you say, when I always say it, I say it to my kid. So I take my kid boxing every Sunday morning, and I'm like, I say to him, I say, the reason I teach you how to fight is because I don't want you to have to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
The bottom line is the easiest way to stop someone fighting is to teach them how to fight.
Having the confidence to fight anyone will stop you fighting anyone.
Exactly. That's exactly what you said before about when you were working on the door. It's there's that mentality of, because all violence is born through fear. It's either fear of losing something that you have, or fear of not getting what you want. And when I say losing something that you have, 90% of that is a mental face. It's losing a reputation, losing pride. Yeah, exactly. So, like I say, my kid, he's not, he's by no means the most naturally talented athlete in the world. But, he goes in and we've been training consistently for a few years now. And, he's got to the stage now where he can hold his own in a ring. And, so me and him will spar together. And obviously he's the same height as me now, So, like 2-3 years ago, he was 6 inches smaller, and he was a 13-year-old boy. Now he's nearly 17. He's nearly a 17-year-old fully grown man. And it was like, it was maybe 4-6 months ago or something like that. Me and him were messing around, and we were doing just like a 3-shot return spar in the ring. And so obviously, I throw 3 shots, he throws 3 shots. Yeah. And so I've thrown my 3 shots, and he's gone to throw his shots, and he's a southpaw as well, dirty cackhand. And so he's throwing his jab cross, And he's done the old look low, throw high trick, hasn't he? Suckered me right in like a fucking idiot. So he sort of looked to the body. I thought he was going to throw a body shot, and I've gone to cover over, and he's just come up with this fucking lead hook, cracked me round the back of the ear, and I went, fuck, like that. And that was when I was like, right, you little fucker, that's the last time I'm cutting you any fucking kind of slack whatsoever. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, he's a fully grown mush. But yeah, that's it, man. So, look, let's try and move a little bit forward and get on. So, normally we have a section where we call it news and shit. So, obviously, the tagline of the podcast is the oil check, MMA and shit. So, it's just, we talk about MMA and any kind of shit that has to cross our path. So, obviously, we normally have a section of news and shit. So, what I'll do is I'll go through the Google news page and I'll try and pick out anything from the Google news page that is any kind of entertaining. Now, and we also have a section called Cunt of the Week. So,
how many times have I been it?
No, you haven't been it yet. But don't get me wrong, there's always time. If you want to step up to that, fucking take that title. But so unfortunately, with the fucking Rona, it's a little bit sparse pickings on the news at the moment.
I bet Dominic Cummings isn't on there, is he?
Well, look, before. So look, I mean, if you have a look, out of the front page of the UK news page, say there's 20 articles. Out of those 20 articles, 18 of them are fucking Rona, lockdown, and Cummings, right? So obviously, Cunt of the Week is Dominic Cummings. So that's Cunt of the Week. So again, I'm one of them people that I fucking hate mainstream TV. I hate news. I think it's all fucking bullshit. So I don't watch the TV. I only watch Netflix and Amazon Prime. I don't listen to the radio. I only listen to podcasts that I choose to listen to. I don't buy newspapers, any of that shit. So any of the bollocks, it's got, most of my information comes from social media, and obviously you can choose to what you listen to and what you don't. But the bottom line is Dominic Cummings. I posted something up and I said, he's basically the thing that, look, what he did was what he did, right? Have we all been outside the house during the lockdown period? I know I have, yeah? Have I broken the regulations? Yes, of course I have. I've been to see my mates. I've been to see other people, yeah? But the fact is, I'm not in the public eye. And the fact is he got caught doing what he did. Now, if he'd have just gone, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I did it. I'm really fucking sorry. That was the case. Then it probably would have disappeared a lot quicker. But the fact is, the thing that annoyed me is he went, well, the lie that he told to try and justify his actions. So he's gone, well, I thought my eyesight was dodgy, so I went out for a drive. And everyone's, but nobody out there has just gone, well, you're full of fucking shit, you cunt.
I know.
That's the most ridiculous excuse I've ever heard.
Of course it is. I think I might be blind, so I'm going to drive to see. What the fuck are you on about? Also, the thing is as well, if I've gone out and breached the rules, okay, I'm not a government advisor advising you on the pandemic. I'm not one of the people who's saying to everyone in the country, don't go outside, don't see your loved ones, don't look after your children, don't go and say goodbye to the person who you love who's dying in hospital. This cunt is. He's the guy who's saying that to everyone. He's saying, don't do all these things. If someone's dying, tough luck, you'll have to say goodbye from home. And then you're going out and you're seeing people. Also, then we've got the fact of, it happens to be his mum's birthday weekend or week. Just coincidentally, you've got family that live just around the corner who could have helped you with your childcare. It's his wife's sister-in-law or something just around the corner. Also, you didn't utilise any of the childcare when you drove up to Durham anyway. So all the reasons you said you went there are moot. They don't count anymore. And then you come out with the bullshit excuse. For me, this is when Boris Johnson should have come up and said, listen, I don't think what Dominic Cummings has said is that bad, but he's making us all look cunts, so he's got to go.
Exactly. And this is the thing. For me, again, I'm not the fucking biggest political activist in the world. Am I from a working class background? Yes, I am. So for that reason alone, I'm not the biggest fan of the Conservatives. But, for me, what this fucking says is it's the contempt that they fucking come out with. And he's basically looked at the general public and said, well, this is bullshit. It sounds like bullshit. Nobody's going to believe it, but fuck them.
Yeah. Fuck, I ain't got to explain myself to them. Fuck them. I'm the guy who makes the rules, not the guy who explains
Yeah.
That's what it comes to. I mean, for me, this is the biggest issue of all of it for me. So I'm quite political, as you know, from my Facebook, but I'm not in that I don't vote. Now, I don't vote because there's no party that represents everything that I want it to represent. Now, the reason I voted in the last election for my first ever time was because I wanted to stop Boris. One thing I wanted was not Boris Johnson on his own. I thought if we can get like a coalition, that's me better than having this fucking idiot. So I'm not politically minded, and this is my biggest issue. We now have Conservatives defending the actions of this absolute fucking rat for no other reason than they're the blue team. Oh no, well, he did this ain't that bad. Stop being the fucking blue team. Every single year, make them earn your respect by saying, I'm going to vote red if they represent me and what I want. So you have got to come up with a new policy or a new agenda that makes me think I'm back on your team. You can't then just support the misgivings of the whole team just because they're your fucking team. That's not how it works. Politics is never going to go anywhere.
The entire fucking system's a shower of shit. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, it's basically you're basing who's going to run the country on a fucking popularity contest that can be manipulated.
Exactly. The X Factor's better run.
Exactly. And the thing is, right, is I am also a true believer in anybody that really wants that job
should be shot.
Shouldn't be allowed to do it.
Exactly.
Like if anyone's like, I want to be prime minister, you're like, well, fuck off, mate.
You're a megalomaniac. You're a megalomaniac.
It's like, and it's a weird, like, you should have to take a lie detector test, because like I say, the last fucking thing that I would ever want to do, right, would be to run the fucking country. However, I've got a bit of experience of running businesses and stuff like that. And like, it should be like, not like me as an individual, but it should be like a committee of people who don't want the job. They're like, they come up and they're like, do you want the job? No, do I fuck? Right, well, you're doing it.
Why have we not all, as a society, come together and say, we're not standing for single party representation anymore? I tell you what you all get to do. We get a group, and every single political party gets one representative from that group. You all go to a room, and that's our government now. Everyone's represented then.
Smart motherfuckers like Elon Musk that run the fucking country. Not like fucking, like you say, not like those power-hungry fucking scumbags that all they're out for is to line their own pockets.
And the moment you find out that they fund the media or they're media funded, you're like, hang on a minute, how are we running a country with people who have got financial benefit in the Sun promoting them, or the Mirror has got financial benefit in the Conservatives being in power? The system's fucked. Like, have you ever seen like PM's questions or debates in Parliament?
Yeah.
Have you seen them? It's fucking horrendous. It's like you wouldn't get away with acting like that at a football stadium on a Saturday. Like, you'd be judged and put on the paper. How are we running a government where this is encouraged, that you shout and jeer over people who are trying to benefit a certain representative of the nation?
But then it's like the thing, it's like, you know, when they're debating pay rises for MPs, it's standing room only. When they're debating fucking feeding hungry children, there's 3 fucking people in there. And I'm like, hold on, if you're an MP, your job is to be there for every single fucking thing.
It should be mandatory attendance.
Mandatory attendance. You can't go, well, I don't give a fuck about that, I'm not going to turn up.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it should be mandatory attendance. 9 to 5 jobs for everyone else.
Swearing there.
Well, no. My stepmom came in and shut the window, and she's like, "It's loud." I was like, "All right."
Well, look, we're straying off the point a little bit. So, again, Cummings, cunt of the week. But in general, the entire political system, cunts of the week. So, however, there was one news story that put a smile on my face. And it's actually something that's happened very close to me. So, close to where I live in Reading, there is a little village called Sonning. And Sonning is actually famous because that's where Theresa May lives. Now, there was a chap in Sonning posted up a couple of pictures outside of his house. So he lives in I think it's like the High Street or one of the roads through Sonning, and he decided for a laugh that he was going to post up a picture. So either side of his house on the street. He's posted up a picture saying that this area is now under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Silly Walks, and you must commence silly walking immediately. So he's taken a leaf out of Monty Python's book, and he's put these signs up, and he put a webcam up. So basically, people are walking down the street, seeing the sign, and they've started like doing a silly walk past this dude's house. And he's then put the footage up onto a Facebook page, and there's a video on there. And if I actually knew how to fucking like the technology to be able to fucking I'm gonna give it one fucking go. So hold on, right? So I'm gonna try and share the video on the fucking thing, right? Share screen, right? So right, I've not got the fucking thing. I can't do it. Look, anyway. So if you go onto the BBC News page and just type in Ministry of Silly Walks, there is a video of all of these people walking past this dude's house in Sonning in a fucking silly manner. It's the most hilarious thing ever. So
the guy's a legend.
Exactly.
The guy's a fucking legend.
I always try and end it on a bit of a fucking positive note, and that's the funny thing of the week. So finally, we'll fire into. So obviously there is a fight card up this Saturday night. It's the first UFC event that's now back in Vegas. Vegas have given their permission to hold events. So it is the UFC on ESPN 9, and the highlight fight is Tyron Woodley versus Gilbert Burns. So obviously having a quick look, the rest of the card is pretty lackluster. You've got Lewis Smolka further down the card, who's he's quite well known for being second fight on the card. And there is, like I say, Mackenzie Dern.
Mackenzie, yeah, that one's interesting. But for me, I'm a bit like you. Main event, really interested in it. Good fight. Mackenzie Dern, really interested in that fight. The rest of it, I'm a bit like, I'm not staying up for this one for sure.
Yeah, so if memory serves me correctly, didn't she miss weight on her last fight? Has she been?
Yeah, and lost. She missed weight. First time down it. Is it straw weight?
Yeah. Must have been because Amanda Ribas, she was.
Yeah, so I think first time down at straw weight, but 4 months after having a kid.
Yeah, fair play.
Fair play. But the only thing with Mackenzie, for me, amazing jiu-jitsu player, one of the best in the world jiu-jitsu player. She's phenomenal. Got no fucking wrestling, so is not taking people down. And her boxing, she's throwing punches like 2 inches shorter than she should be. And I'm like, surely this is easier for you because you've got less to work on than everybody else. You can forget your jiu-jitsu. You're so good at it. Now let's learn how to wrestle effectively and strike. I mean, she's tough. She is tough. But she doesn't hit very hard because she's got no, like you said, or she doesn't seem to. And she's not got the powerful wrestling. I'm like, come on. Like, just put those things in place and I think you could go really far.
And she's hot as fuck.
Well, it's not for me to say, but you and Joey Diaz have covered that apparently, yeah.
I wonder what it smells like. But yeah, so, but this is the thing, she's a world-class jiu-jitsu player who looks good in a bikini. So the UFC were like, fucking, let's sign me the fuck up. So, I'm pretty sure that, going back to her usual weight, coming, after a loss, she'd be very, very hungry. The girl that she's fighting, this Hannah Siffers, she's got a 10-4 record, but she's coming off a loss to Angela Hill, and she's not, there's no real other massive names on her record really. So, and like you say, she is pretty much, she's got a lot of decisions there. She's had, she's not got the most exciting record in her life. So I think she's probably being, that's probably a very political move by the UFC, get in there, beat her, get back onto the winning ways, because they are obviously putting a lot of money into, promoting Mackenzie Dern. So what is your opinion on the main event? Obviously, Tyron Woodley, last fight he had was a loss. He lost his title against Usman, which was over a year ago. So he hasn't fought for over a year. Obviously, got a lot of other things going on in the world. He's got his rap career, which, I don't know what your opinion is. I don't think I don't think Eminem's quaking in his boots about that, put it that way. And obviously that Gilbert Burns, he's, again, not got the greatest name, but he's on a bit of a run. Beat Gunnar Nelson, beat Damian Maia, so it could be a very, very interesting fight. What are you thinking about that one?
So for me, I think any time Tyron Woodley fights is his fight to lose. With Gil though, I think if he tries to take him down, Gilbert Burns down, he could be in some fucking trouble. Gilbert's a really solid jiu-jitsu player. Great grappling. Also as well though, Gilbert loves to stand in trade, but he comes forward if he hits you with wild shots. You only got to get hit once by Tyron Woodley. Yeah. Darren Till's shown us that. You've got to get hit once by Tyron Woodley. And if you clip him and you think you clipped him and you overcommit and you get tagged, so I've got a feeling that it would either be a 3-round, quite boring fight, lots of clinch work, because Tyron's got to nullify the game on the ground, really. He can't play jiu-jitsu game with him. From the top, he's got to stay on top. My game would be get half guard, land shots from half guard. Don't fuck about in the guard. Don't even go to side control. Go to half guard, stay in a deep half, and just start landing shots from there. That would be my game plan if I was going to the floor. Or clinch wrestle on the fence, grind him down, try and wear him out. I think Gilbert has to really tag him or get the fight to the floor.
So, but like you say, if you're coming forward, like when he fought Damian Maia, I was just watching that just before we came on. So obviously Damian Maia's lurched forward with that shot and missed, and he's come over with that left hook and clipped him. So like you say, coming forward, he's, if you come towards him, he's a dangerous man. But Tyron Woodley's the opposite. Tyron Woodley, like we saw from the Wonder Boy fights, he will sit there with his back against the cage and wait for you to come to him.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's got that strong counter punching, and he's got a very, very strong wrestling base as well. So I think he's wrestling strong enough to stop that guy taking him, to stop Burns taking him down. And like you say, those with that power shot, that he's got that that counter straight, that counter cross. I think, like you say, I think it is Woodley's fight to lose, but depends on where his head is. Coming after that big loss. What's he been doing? How's he been for the last, year and a bit? Is there any ring rust? Did that lot, because obviously he came out against Usman and everyone's like, yeah, he didn't look like the real Woodley, and obviously Usman's, really put a clinic on him and won every round quite decisively. And before that, he hadn't lost a fight for 5 years. So he's been on that winning streak for 5 years. He's then taken a bad loss, and he's got all of these other things going on in his life. So it will very much depend, I think, on what version of Tyron Woodley comes in. Is he gonna be that guy that bounces back from his loss and becomes more hungry, or is he gonna be that guy that's thinking, well, I'll just take this fight for the paycheck because he's got 1 foot out the door with his rap career. So it's either way.
I mean, it is one of them. I think this has got to be to get you back in title contention. And okay, he lost against Usman, but let's not make any mistakes. Usman is the best in the division, absolutely phenomenal, and also he's just better at everything than Tyron Woodley. Now, he could be a better striker, but if Tyron's got the wrestling, it means he can throw better hands. Usman's a better wrestler, really. Different styles, but probably a better wrestler, more explosive, more powerful, longer, better boxing, better kicks. So it was just a terrible matchup for him. So it'd be interesting to see whether he's coming back to keep himself relevant, or if he's coming back to try and get back to title contention.
Do you think he knew that going into the fight, and that's why he wasn't? He basically, like I said, there's a lot of people who say that he didn't look like the normal version of Tyron Woodley. Usman made him look very, very normal. So do you think it was the fact that Usman is so good, it just made him look normal? Or do you think that because he knew that it affected his game plan on the way in?
So I had this discussion when it happened, and I had a similar discussion about Tony Ferguson and Gaethje as well. Yeah. And my opinion is this: you have a game plan, and although you're at the top of the tree, you'll still game plan a little bit for the fights coming up. So my opinion is you had a game plan. You go out early, and your game plan gets disrupted. So once your game plan's disrupted, you have something else that you can go to. If you have nothing else to go to after your game plan, if you've got no option of a plan B, because this guy is better than you at your plan B, and he's better than you at your plan A, you are just trying to survive them. And I think Tyron Woodley, as soon as he knew plan A wasn't going to work, plan B, everyone's thinking you can do this. In his head, he's thinking, I can't do it. I'm not powerful enough to take him down. I'm not strong enough. He's probably thinking in his head then, like, just don't get knocked out. Be a champion. Don't get knocked out. If he takes your belt, you might clip him with something in a minute. Wait your chance. Something might come and just stay in the fight. And that's probably what he's thinking. If I can catch him, if I can do this, and he's just trying to hang in the fight. And that was my similar breakdown with Ferguson. People said, "Oh, if you're that good, you should be able to change your game plan." I'm like, listen, he's been hit so hard in the first round, and on his legs kicked so badly. There is no change of game plan now, because the guy you're now fighting, who's taking less damage than you, is better than you at all of your game plans now.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to get this through as much as you can and just try and land something.
Yeah, I mean, there was his corner did a really, really bad job as well. We discussed that on the last podcast about the fact that he's obviously so used to winning that when something didn't go his way, his corner were like, "Oh fuck, what do we do now?"
It's doing a Minari roll. Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Brilliant.
But no, it's like it wasn't even. I mean, that was just a fucking ridiculous thing. But it's like after the end of the first round. I mean, I know you've got to big your guy up and all that, but if you listen at the end of it, like, so he's just gone out in the first round. He's had the face punched off him with left hooks. He's had his leg kick chopped to fuck. And he goes back to the corner and Eddie Bravo was like, "Fantastic boxing there, mate. That's really, really good." I'm like, you've got to be a little bit, look, I know you've got to encourage your guy. You can't be like, oh, but you've got to be like, look, okay, that didn't go as expected. Let's, whereas if you go to fucking Justin Gaethje's corner, Trevor Whitman was like, right, adjust this and tweak this. And, get like, the advice that Trevor Whitman gave him was perfect game plan and advice. And like Eddie Bravo's best thing was like, fantastic boxing. You're like, well, no, it wasn't, clearly. You're either a liar or you're a dumb fuck.
Why are you telling him you're getting caught on the exit every single time? At the end of every exchange, you're getting caught with a left hook. Why don't we tell him to finish with a left hook and keep his right hand up instead of finishing with a right hand and having a left hook? Come on, let's do something. But if you're listening to Eddie Bravo about your striking, you're already gone fucking wrong anyway.
So is there... Obviously, you've got your own podcast. Give us all the info about that. What's it about? How do they get it? Any social media links at all?
Yeah, so the 831 podcast, that's 831 the numbers podcast, or just search my name in any podcast outlet, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you get a podcast, you'll find it. It's a lot more broad. So I speak to psychologists, falconers, paragliders, base jumpers, long format talks, not really interviews or anything like that. Like, it's like a poor man's Joe Rogan sort of thing, just have anyone on who I think would be interesting. And likewise, if any of your viewers think that they've got someone who would be an interesting guest, hit me up, give me their details. I'll talk to people who professionally knit if it's something I don't know anything about, and I think I can have a good conversation with someone. It's just about learning for me, for everyone really, and it's fun. So the 831 podcast. I think I'm The Immortal 831 on Instagram if you want to see stupid shit with jumping off of stuff and all sorts of random stuff. Probably best not to have me on Facebook. I'm just an antagonist, really. So you're probably better off following Lee Remedios.
If anyone's interested in quizzes, like I say, speaking from personal experience, so 2-3 times a week, general knowledge himself sometimes makes a fucking appearance, but at 8:30 normally, so Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays or Sundays, you're running an online Facebook quiz for friends. It's real fun. It's real good to get involved. So, absolutely 100% recommend it. Obviously I always share the link if I'm around and I'm doing it. So yeah, I would strongly recommend that anybody else gets involved. So
and you've done awesome ones yourself as well. The Friends ones that you've done, the Sopranos, they've all been brilliant.
I don't know if you can see, I've got the Sopranos poster still up in the background there from the other day when I was doing it. So, unfortunately, I think the Sopranos is a little bit more niche. The number of viewers that we got wasn't really up to standard. The Friends one we got quite a few on, but yeah, I think the Sopranos one's maybe a little bit more of a niche area. But so essentially, just want to remind all of our watchers that we are sponsored by Fight Central, and you can go to their website www.fight-central.co.uk and use the discount code The Oil Check for 10% off the entire site. So that's all boxing, Muay Thai, MMA, all equipment, all available on fightcentral.co.uk. And you can contact the Oil Check at any time on 07510 954 793. That's telephone or text. You can email theoilcheck@hotmail.com, and you can contact all social media at The Oil Check. And obviously myself, I'm Andy Sledge on Facebook, Andy Sledge on Twitter, and Andy.Sledge on Instagram. So listen, Wes, it's been absolutely amazing having you on, mate. It's been real interesting. So this is going to be uploaded to YouTube. So what I'll do is as soon as it's uploaded later on today, I'll send you through the links and you can fire them out onto your social media. All right. So listen, it's been absolutely amazing. And we'll see you at 8:30 tonight for the quiz, buddy.
You will do. Thanks again, mate.
Excellent. Cheers, man. Thanks very much. See you later.
Cheers, buddy.